Hey, what's up everybody? It has been a while. This summer is almost over. Practically missed it. 2025 has been a little rough. I'm getting out on the trails today. I have to. And we're gonna do some mapping for OnX, and I'm gonna bring you all along with me and show you all the steps that us trail guides do. So stick around, hope you enjoy. Let's do some mapping. All right, so we're gonna be starting out on a dirt road, which will turn into some unmaintained road, which is pretty much a trail. We start out, I usually put my directions and where I'm gonna go on Uconnect. And then as far as mapping goes, I will go to the tablet. And we're actually going to go ahead and start this right here. So we're going to start recording track. And there we have it. See, this is kind of why I use my phone, OnX on my phone through Uconnect, so I know exactly where I'm going and where I want to go. Because as soon as you start hitting go track, it's just going to leave breadcrumbs. All right, let's get started. So this trail, road, whatever you want to call it, well, technically it is a road. It's Raymond Road. But only like a quarter mile of it is an actual maintained dirt road. So once you get off the dirt road, you get into this trail. It's not difficult at all. I mean, it's Michigan, so majority of the Michigan trails are green. And as far as difficulty rating, it can be anywhere between a 2 and a 5 on the green level. A lot of people do get all that confused, thinking that a green 5 or a green 6 is something super technical. It's not. Most of the greens can be done by most stock 4x4s, 4Runners, Jeeps. Almost anybody can get through a lot of the lower graded greens. I usually like to gauge my mappings by vehicle. As a trail guide, we do have some photos and some walkthroughs and some like references on the grading system, but I utilize those, but I usually just go by a trail. Like, honestly, now that I'm deeper in here, I mean, look, we got some pretty nasty whoops that we're coming into. For me, it's not that bad, and for like a stock Jeep, it shouldn't be too bad. But stuff like a Trailhawk Cherokee, or like a Subaru Forester, stuff like that, that's what I gauge my trails on. Your stock run-of-the-mill all-wheel drive Cherokee, Foresters, what else we got? You get what I'm saying. So this one, I'm probably going to put it as probably a 4. A green 4, maybe a green 3. And then I'll put in a good explanation. And this trail is really beautiful. Road. I'll go back and forth. I'm going to go back and forth between road and trail, but I will be naming it a road. We're going to go by a little lake. It's called Round Lake. And it's blue on the map, but it looks pretty dried out. See? So at this time of year, we will call that Round Field instead of Round Lake. You can see on all my maps, it's showing a lake. All right, next trail. pause the mapping because looked like I was supposed to turn, but I wasn't. And we were ending up on someone's property. That's the nice thing about Elite. I highly recommend the Elite membership because it gives you property lines. And that way you know if you're on public lands or if you're trespassing. Because a lot of these trails were made, I mean, there was development plans, so they made roads like this one we're on. See, it stopped looking like a road, but we are still on Raymond Road. But they mapped out the roads before they mapped out development. And development just never happened. So now we got nice, beautiful trails that are named roads. And Google will take you down this stuff. But back to the Elite program, it is very nice to be able to see the private property, because that's kind of the last thing you want to do. You don't want to go on anybody's property and cause chaos or damage anything. And plus, it's considered private property, so they may come visit you with a pew-pew. So back to the ratings. Now, when you look on OnX, where the heck am I at? It looks like I need to stop right here. It's kind of dumb. Doesn't go through. Let me see my map. And now it still goes through. Let's see how well this goes. I'm supposed to be going straight around here somewhere. But back to the ratings. We rate the hardest part of the trail. So you may see a green 5 or a green 6 or even some of the blues. I have seen a lot of people in videos and like in Facebook groups complain about the ratings. We are only rating the hardest obstacle in the trail. So the rest of the trail may be a blue 3 or a blue 5, but it may look just like this. It may be all green. And see, this is a cool little part. Hold on a second. I'm going to set up a camera. Because it looks cool in person, but on camera it's probably going to look like nothing. Alright, here we go. Camera's set up. So back to our ratings. Our ratings, it's the hardest part of the trail. So that right there, what I just went through, although it probably didn't show up real good on camera, is probably, like right now it's a 2 or a 3. But in the wintertime, springtime, fall, when we get a lot of rain, this could probably be a very deep hole. Doesn't look like much, but this thing can probably get filled with water. This turned into a sloppy, muddy mess. So let me turn you around. So, yeah, look at my dad bod, my belly. So it is up to my knees. So that is, yeah. Vehicle with 33s could make it. Probably be a lot of fun. But going back to those stock Trailhawk Cherokees Subarus, stuff like that. Yeah, they're not going to make that if this is after a good rainstorm. All right, back to it. I'm getting bit by bugs. All right, so I am ending my track. Let me delete all this. And I will probably rename these when I'm 100% done. So, Raymond Road. Took us 40 minutes. We went a little over 3.5 miles. Track saved. Done. All right, now it's time to the next one. And I will start taking pictures again. It's kind of funny. I think I ended up in I know where I'm at. I'm just doing it backwards. Ha. So, yeah, anyway. That is one fun part about mapping, is you can kind of get yourself lost. Sorry, we're deep in the woods and it's getting dark. You can't get yourself lost. That's why I use 2 devices. My phone is on Uconnect, and then I map with my tablet. And we will get to the start of another one, turn around, and I will map this one. So it does take time. I mean, honestly, you've seen almost 40 minutes to go 3.5 miles. Now, I was filming, but as a trail guide that we're going to submit trails, we have to take photos, get good photos of the terrain, and fun stuff like that for all of you to enjoy. All right, I need to figure out where I'm at. See you in a bit. It may not look real bad on camera, but this is some side-to-side bumpy, bump stop hitting. Yeah, look at that. Now in person it doesn't look that bad, and I'm sure on camera it doesn't look that bad, but oh, that's a nice little camp spot. Let's back up and shoot a picture of that for OnX. We just finished mapping trail 5296, which intersects with Webster Road. And there is a ton of motorcycle trails in here. I am getting close to the Horseshoe Trail system. And yeah, it was getting a little frustrating because some of these routes, like 5296, yeah, I attempted to go down what was on there, but yeah, no, it just kind of goes off into the woods, and then the trail goes really, really south from what the Forestry Service map says. So 5296 is accurate going by OnX. If you're using FS maps, yeah, you'll get lost in me doing a lot of turnarounds. But really, really cool trail. Scenic. There are some mild challenges. I mean, it's for stock vehicles, it'd be a very fun, interesting trail. It is bumpy, and there is a ton of nice camp spots off of 5296. I found 2, and those pictures will be in OnX on the description of this trail. But they were really large sites. There was one on the left side of the trail that could probably hold 2 vehicles. It's up to you if you want to put a tent down there. It was kind of bumpy. It wasn't very level, but for a vehicle with a rooftop tent, it's perfectly fine. And then like 25 yards away on the right side, there was another big open area that was surrounded by trees. So, I mean, if you were going 15 miles an hour down the trail, you would completely miss it. I mean, it almost has its own little private driveway to a nice remote camp spot that would probably hold 4 vehicles. So, fun times. Trail 5296 in West Michigan. So I'm about to finish, what am I on? Webster Road. See, I completely forgot where I was when I started talking. All right, so moving on. We have been doing this. We are at hour 3. Have no idea. I've probably only mapped 6 miles, but there's a lot of picture taking, making sure I'm on the right track. Because when I get home and pull all these maps off my tablet, I like to submit them the way they are. I can edit them, but it is kind of it takes a lot of extra steps to edit the trails. So I like to be as smooth as possible. And oh wow, we finished. Okay, done. Well, let me see how we do this. I'm gonna flip it. Pause. End. We are on. Sun's coming out, getting hot. Webster Road. You get the point. I'll fix it before I submit it. Save. Alright, so where do we want to go now? That one in front of me is mapped. That is trail 5298. To the right is not mapped, but I'm in the middle of the trail. So, I think I've been out here long enough. I'm gonna actually head home. Make sure I don't get hit by anybody. I hope you enjoyed. This is what we do as trail guides for OnX. This is how we map all the trails that you see. You'll see green trails, red trails, blue trails. Mostly in Michigan, it's say 95% green, about 5% blue. From here, I will go home. I will download all my pictures. I will sort all my pictures per trail, and then I will open up OnX on my desktop, and then we have a portal that we submit our trails through. We rate them, we name them, we put a description in, and descriptions are really difficult, especially in Michigan, because a lot of it is the same. So the only time the description can change up is if there's a big obstacle or a water hole, or like one of the trails, there's I will call it a side-by-side merry-go-round, because it was just a big giant hole, and side-by-sides just go in there and keep doing circles and digging it deeper and deeper. Fun times. Thanks for joining. My name's Shannon. This is Warthog Overland, and this was a day for OnX. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. We will be in the UP in 2 weeks. So that video will probably be out end of September, beginning of October. It's just Jamie, my wife, and my son Dylan and his fiance Courtney. We're taking Thunderbolt and Red Hawk. And we are just going to do some exploring, do some mapping, do some touristy stuff, and relax.